This is my American author report by Elena Herring. Harriet Beecher Stowe lived 1811 to 1896. Her major works include Uncle Tom's Cabin, published in 1852, and A Key to Uncle Tom's Cabin, which was written to explain and defend the themes in Uncle Tom's Cabin against upset slaveholders. Stowe was born during an era of good feelings and lived through the pre-Civil War era, a time often known as the antebellum era. Stowe lived during a time of division between the North and South in America over slavery. Most Southerners claimed they needed slave labor to keep a steady income, to boost the American economy. Northerners argued that owning another man was both unchristian and unconstitutional. Uncle Tom's Cabin addressed these arguments and used emotional stories to evoke pity and sadness in the reader. The Civil War was considered connected to the publication of Uncle Tom's Cabin. In the words of Abraham Lincoln, Stowe was the little woman who wrote the book that started this great war. She caused a greater divide between North and South by victimizing Southern slave owners while making Northern readers upset on the slaves' behalf. It is important to read Uncle Tom's Cabin today because it gives readers an inside look into the debate over slavery. Stowe lived in the midst of this heated time and experienced first-hand accounts by visiting slave plantations herself, making her a very reliable source. Whether or not the reader chooses to believe everything she writes about as fact, it still educates the reader about what slaves experienced by the hands of Americans. Stowe left a significant historical legacy that impacted, even changed, the history of America. She was extremely vocal in her efforts to abolish slavery. Upon finishing the book, readers felt either passionate in the injustices slaves experienced or very angry with Stowe for pointedly convicting them in their sins. Even Frederick Douglass, a famous freed black man, wrote letters thanking her for her efforts to make known the evils of slavery. Through this book, Stowe will forever be known as the Christian lady who was bold enough to show her audience the truth about slavery. Her influence had a part in the Civil War, which led to the abolishment of slavery. From a global perspective, millions of people have read Stowe's book, and no doubt many tears have been shed over the characters. In the 1800s, this book helped evoke passion in people to abolish slavery. And today, this book helps us understand and learn about a very significant event for our country. If history repeats itself, then knowledge about what happened in history is the best way to avoid repeating it. An interesting story about Harriet Beecher Stowe. She and her husband, Calvin Stowe, hired a black girl from Kentucky as a maid. One day, the girl's old master came back to find her, though she was legally free. The Stowes refused to let this girl come to harm and helped hide her from the old master. Armed and waiting for the old master, the Stowes managed to fight off the man and keep the girl safe. We're excited.